देखिए आज तक HD आज से टाटा स्काई पर चैनल नंबर 508।
They called him a chore and personally corrupt. They said he took millions in kickbacks. They said he had helped his friend Anil Ambani. They said he had taken the country for a ride. They said he had fattened his pockets. They said the Rafale deal was his cash cow. But the Supreme Court has said khamosh. Top court gives clean chit to Rafale deal. Mega embarrassment for Team Rahul Gandhi. With Rafale storm killed, Modi flexes muscle. Controversy over, but politics won't die.
श्री राहुल गांधी ने खुलासा करना चाहिए इनको ये सूचनाएं कौन देता है.
What's next in the Rafale storm?
On the issue of the process, pricing and offsets in the Rafale aircraft deal, the Supreme Court gave a virtual clean chit to the Narendra Modi government, saying there was no requirement of a court-monitored investigation. The BJP came out all guns blazing, demanding an apology from the Congress Party President Rahul Gandhi. The Congress Party President, on the other hand, hit back, reiterating those charges and adding new ones, insisting there is a requirement for a joint parliamentary committee probe. So the political dogfight has just escalated.
देश को पता लग जाएगा कि चौकीदार देश का चौकीदार चोरी कर गया, चौकीदार भागीदार बन गया है.
Rafale deal was the cornerstone of Rahul Gandhi's charge against PM Narendra Modi. But with the Supreme Court letting off the centre on all aspects of the deal, Rahul's campaign may well have been grounded. The judgment has come as a breather for the BJP, which is reeling from electoral losses in 3 Hindi heartland states.
राहुल गांधी जी ने देश की जनता की और देश की सेना की माफी मांगनी चाहिए कि उन्होंने सेना के जवानों के अंदर संदेह खड़ा करने का भी प्रयास किया है और देश की जनता को भी गुमराह करने का प्रयास किया है. देश की सुरक्षा को भी उन्होंने खतरे में डालने का प्रयास किया है.
The issues resonated in Parliament as well. The euphoric government attacked the Congress both inside and outside the House. Top ministers who were silent after the election reverses came out all guns blazing.
Falsehood is bound to fall apart. Indeed it has. और जिन्होंने इस असत्य का निर्माण किया था, कम से कम संसद में उस असत्य को रखें.
Soon Rahul Gandhi responded to the government blitz. He claimed that the Supreme Court's verdict was based on a claim that the government shared the Rafale pricing details with the CAG, which in turn submitted its report with the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. Rahul and PSC Chief Mallikarjun Kharge claimed no such reports have been filed.
अब सरकार को हमें यह समझाना है कि ये जो CAG रिपोर्ट ये है कहां है, हमें भी दिखा दें और पीएससी के जो चेयरमैन है खड़गे जी उनको भी दिखा दें.
यहाँ प्राइसिंग पे ही हमारी लड़ाई हो रही है. उस मुद्दे पे सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कोई फैसला या कोई जजमेंट, कोई उनका ओपिनियन नहीं है. और हमारी जो मांग है कि जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी जेपीसी फॉर्म करना चाहिए.
The Supreme Court verdict has come as a shot in the arm for the Modi government. Rahul Gandhi, who has been going to town with the Chaukidar Chor Hai slogan, will surely find it tough now to make the charges stick. With Anisha Mathur, Paulami Saha in Delhi for India Today.
So the Supreme Court went into the aspect of why did the government buy 36 and not 126. The price difference between the proposed UPA deal, which was never concluded, and the NDA deal for the procurement of the 36 aircraft. The Supreme Court also went into the offsets clause, into the allegation that was leveled against Prime Minister Narendra Modi that an effort was made to benefit Anil Ambani because of their proximity. In all of this, Supreme Court ruled there was no need for intervention. The Chief Justice of India and brother judges also remarked that perception of individuals cannot be the basis of a roving inquiry into the sensitive issues of defense procurement. Anisha Mathur brings you a ground report from the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court has given a big boost to the Narendra Modi government in the purchase of 36 Rafale fighter jets in a flyaway condition from French company Dassault Aviation. The court, in a clear verdict, said it will not interfere with the offset partner choice and it didn't find anything suspicious in the fighter jet deal. It also let off the government on the process followed in purchasing the aircraft and added it won't get into the issue of pricing.
I said I can't say anything more than that I'm happy with the judgment. Okay.
What does this mean for the government now?
No, government is happy equally along with me.
The verdict is absolutely there for all of us to see. The matter on Rafale has thoroughly been, through the court, laid to rest.
The petitioners in the case, however, rejected the Supreme Court's verdict, contradictory and incorrect.
Campaign will not stop because it's a totally wrong judgment. There are so many things which suggest that it's for the corrupted.
There are phrases in this judgment which are just factually incorrect, which will become a license to persons who will want to do or will plan to do wrong.
Legally, the doors have been shut, but politically, the war has just begun with the Parliament raking up the issue and the opposition making a stink in the Parliament. The BJP has also hit back at the opposition, taking the help from the observations in the judgment. In New Delhi, Anisha Mathur for India Today.
The Supreme Court verdict dismissing all petitions demanding a court-monitored probe in the Rafale aircraft deal. Has it taken the wind out of the Congress party's sails? The BJP says Rahul Gandhi must apologize. Rahul Gandhi, of course, has reiterated all his charges, saying Chaukidar chor hai. The BJP is attempting to counter it by saying Chaukidar pure hai. Congress wants a JPC. BJP says nothing doing. What next then in the Rafale deal? Joining me now on the broadcast, GVL Narasimha Rao, Member of Parliament, Rajya Sabha and BJP leader. Sanjay Jha represents the Congress. Air Marshal Nirdosh Tyagi joins me on the broadcast. He's former Deputy Chief of the Air Staff. Also with me is India Today's Executive Editor Sandeep Unnithan. But Sanjay Jha, will Rahul Gandhi apologize after the Supreme Court verdict dismissing all charges in the Rafale case?
Gaurav, let me tell you this, and we say so with extreme confidence, that Rafale is a massive monumental scam. It's over 1,30,000 crores, 30,000 crores in offsets given to Anil Ambani's company by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and 1 lakh crore in life cycle costs. And I'll tell you why this government is scared of appointing a JPC, because the suspicion is on one man, and that is Narendra Modi. I'll give you one example.
All of this, was said in Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has dismissed all charges, sir. The Supreme Court went into pricing. The Supreme Court went into policy. The Supreme Court went into offsets.
Correction, it did not go into pricing, and let me explain to you. Why was the Congress party not one of the petitioners? Why? The Congress party had nothing to do with these petitions filed by some frivolous petitioners and some other eminent gentlemen, whatever the reasons they submitted. The fact of the matter is, Gaurav, when you got a 1,30,000 crore scam, the Supreme Court can only do a judicial review. All it can do here is it needs a forensic investigation. It needs a criminal investigation. It needs actually to be looking at documents.
GVL Narasimha Rao, the Congress insists there should be a JPC.
One last point.
Congress insists
one last point.
Okay, quickly,
one
sir.
last point. One last point. Yeah, one last point. The most critical point, has the Narendra Modi government lied to the Supreme Court? As Mr. Rahul Gandhi in his press conference has pointed out, this government has committed perjury. It's lied to the Supreme Court when it said that the price of Rafale is already known by the CAG and given to the Public Accounts Committee. Guess who is heading the Public Accounts Committee? Mr. Kharge. And
yes.
Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has gone on record. He's publicly said, I have no idea about this at all.
Respond, Jeevan Narasimha Rao. That's a very serious allegation leveled by the Congress Party President and Mallikarjun Kharge. Okay, respond, Jeevan Narasimha Rao.
No, yes, I have heard the press conference of Rahul Gandhi. I think now that he is exposed completely as a liar, he needs to cling on to something to really say that he was making statements, he was making charges based on some silly evidence. I think the court did not use information given to CAG for arriving at its conclusions. In para number 26, court said we have received the pricing details, we have examined them. They did not say we got this report from CAG. Therefore, at best, CAG mention is only a reference in the passing. It was not a substantive point. And Kharge also did not say what Rahul Gandhi said. Yeah. Rahul is trying to really put words in Kharge's mouth. The reality is, I'm a member of the Standing Committee on Defense, and I will certainly find out, I will certainly ask for a probe into all those who made these unsubstantiated allegations to endanger Indian security, national security. I want to know whether Rahul Gandhi did this with a sinister motive or a sinister design.
Sir, he is the president of the Congress Party, and if he's done it with a sinister design, then you should take legal and penal action.
So
instead of
he has his party leaders going and hugging Pakistani army chief.
Sir, then did you file an FIR?
No,
but anyway, hugging the Pakistani
responsible. Mr. Modi cannot escape it, Rao. You can shout how much you want.
Okay, Mr. Modi cannot. I want to move beyond. Since you very rightly pointed out, the country's security is at stake. These aircraft are required, so let me bring in Air Marshal Tyagi.
Endangering national security.
Okay, Air Marshal Tyagi, the point that was made by the Congress Party President, 30,000 crore rupee ka ghotala, प्रधानमंत्री के दोस्त अनिल अंबानी को 30,000 करोड़ दिए गए. As someone who knows this case intricately, how would you respond on merits, sir?
Okay, I'll just address this point that you raised, 30,000 crore. Mr. Jha also mentioned this figure. Now, in case of offsets, there is no money changing hand. The money changes hand when there is something bought from the country. It doesn't change hand at the time of signing of contract. So I don't know which scam are they talking about. Let me explain it in some more details. When you strike a deal, the offset has to come back to India in many forms. There are 6 types in which it can be discharged, but mainly most of the money is used for purchase from India. So when some item is produced in India, which is of global standard, and it is purchased from here, the money changes hand. Now in this case, there are 2-3 things which weaken this argument further. First of all, 30,000 crore offsets are not to be discharged by one company, but by many companies. Second point is that all the liability of offset is not of Dassault, but of Dassault and his partners. And partners are Thales and the engine manufacturer and others.
Yes.
So in case of Dassault's portion, there are about more than several dozen companies which will have to discharge it.
Fair enough.
So where is the 30,000 crore going to one single entity?
Despite the Supreme Court addressing it, and Sandeep, I want to bring you in. The Supreme Court has addressed the issue on process, on pricing, and on offsets.
Yeah.
Someone would have said that this would have taken the wind out of Congress's sails, but Rahul Gandhi came back in the evening and in his press conference he said, "Chaukidar chor hai, I will prove it, and this is a scam." So for a layman, how will he view this case, considering you've covered this case from the time that this was on the drawing board, the acquisition of the Rafale?
Right. Well, Gaurav, like you very correctly said, this judgment has really taken the wind out of the Congress party's sails. It has kind of demolished a lot of arguments that were being built up on price and procedure and the fact that, you know, offsets were given to one particular company. Now, the larger point is, and I've been talking to Air Force people, they're absolutely delighted with this judgment because they can now move on with the process of acquiring 114 aircraft.
Yes.
As the Supreme Court has mentioned, this is an absolutely critical requirement, and the Air Force about a month back was really worried that this entire process could come to a complete halt. Because let's not forget, after what happened in the Bofors case 30 years back, it took the Indian Army 30 years to acquire its first artillery.
Absolutely. So are we playing with national security? Sanjay Jha, you reiterate, I mean, Rahul Gandhi reiterates the 30,000 crore rupee, jibe and saying that this money has been given to Anil Ambani. Supreme Court has gone into it. Air Marshal Nirdosh Tyagi, Sandeep Punnithan, so many experts are saying 30,000 crore not going to any one company. He'll probably get a fraction of that, and yet this jibe is being made. Is there merit then in Amit Shah, the BJP president, and of course GVL Narasimha Rao just a short while back saying, what is the source of Rahul Gandhi's information? Please make it public. Are we playing with national security here?
Gaurav, let me tell you, firstly, this is no clean chit given by the Supreme Court. And if it is, as the BJP claims, then why is Narendra Modi and his government so scared? Get the GPC going. What are you scared of? I'll tell you what they're scared of. Number one, if anybody's compromised national security, it is this Narendra Modi government. By bringing down the 126 aircrafts that we were working on, they have brought it down to 36. 90 less aircrafts. Can you imagine the compromise to India's defense preparedness? And they're going to give us a lecture on national security. Number two, the price of the aircraft goes up by 300%.
Okay.
And by the way, the price has been
so
not
let's
looked
take
at
this
by the
argument
Supreme
one
Court.
by one.
Read the last
Let's take
para
this
of the
argument
Supreme
one
Court.
by one.
The Supreme Court has done a judicial review.
Sure.
And let me make the third point.
Sir, let's take it one by one so that every issue can be addressed and it's not a press conference.
Denied,
no,
and
so
Anil
on the
Ambani
aspect
has
of
been
why
given
not,
a charitable deal.
Why 36 aircraft and why not 126? GVL Narasimha Rao, respond to this. I also want Air Marshal Tyagi to comment on this point. And GVL Narasimha Rao, was the Air Force in the loop on reduction of aircraft from 126 down to 36?
No, Gaurav, today's I have no special knowledge of it to tell you beyond what is there in the public domain and in the judgment. Okay, and in the judgment, they have also talked to the Air Force Chief Marshal. They have talked to the entire establishment. So this is a report. This is an order based on the comprehensive study of the circumstances that went into it. What does this say? Point number 18 of the judgment says, as far as the endeavor to procure 126 fighter aircrafts is concerned, contract negotiations could not be concluded. For 10 years, what was Rahul Gandhi negotiating? What was Sonia Gandhi? Were they trying for bribes? Did they delay it because they were not able to negotiate the bribes? Why did they compromise security then? When 126 could not be purchased off the shelf, this country, we needed some two squadrons at least to be pressed into service immediately.
Sir, you must answer this, but let me also bring in Air Marshal Tyagi on this point, because this point needs to be comprehensively dealt with. Why did the Indian Air Force have to suddenly go in for 36 aircraft? And Air Marshal Tyagi, there are two issues being raised here. One, when the requirement was 126, why go for 36? And two, was due process followed? Did the IAF say we need at least 36? Was the Defence Acquisition Council on board in the loop? Air Marshal Tyagi.
Okay, first issue is 36 in lieu of the larger number. 36 is the smallest figure that could have been purchased because we've handled that many aircraft earlier. This forms 2 squadrons. And it is not in lieu of 126. It is the first procurement, which is an urgent, emergent requirement. There is an RFI issued for 110 aircraft already. 110 aircraft are to be procured through the process, which is time consuming and which will take long. So because the earlier deal was not going through, they resorted to an emergent requirement. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is whether procedure was followed. The procedure for government-to-government deal is slightly different. It does not have to go through the initial processes. DSC was consulted. First, the Prime Minister expressed his intent, and after that, the matter went to DSC where it was approved, and CCS approval was taken before the deal was finalized. Now, there is confusion in people's mind as to what stage CCS approval is taken. Before 2005, the deals were approved by CCS at acceptance of necessity stage. After that, it is matter goes to CCS only at final stage. That is before, just before the final approval.
Sanjay Jha, does that answer your question? Because Sandeep will tell me there is a precedent. There is a precedent in the past when squadron strengths fell alarmingly.
Yes.
The Mirages were bought, and apparently only 2 squadrons. Sandeep.
Absolutely, Gaurav. At the time when Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ordered these 2 squadrons of Mirages from the French in 1985, 84 to be precise, they arrived in 85. So there has been a precedent of 2 squadrons being purchased by the Air Force, and in fact this is a point that the Air Chief Marshal Dhanwar has mentioned himself. So it's not that this was the very first time it was being done. And as Air Marshal Tyagi mentioned, that the government has actually split this contract into 2. It's actually taken 36 off the shelf, and now you have a 114 aircraft order which is going to be made in India.
The RFI is out on it, and Sanjay Jha, please respond to this, because this is a very serious issue. We cannot afford to play politics with national security. There's a precedent. Rajiv Gandhi bought only 36 aircraft, 2 squadrons of Mirages. That's point 1. And point 2, the question that GVL Narasimha Rao asks, 10 years of UPA regime from 2007 to 12, as the BJP president and the finance minister also raised. Why was this deal not concluded at that time, sir?
Well, Gaurav, let me answer. Point number 1, Rao has insulted the 5 Indian Air Force chiefs who were part of that entire process of choosing Rafale. There were competitive bids. And let me tell you, they go through trials, they go through a very serious mechanics. I mean, these are very intricate discussions. And the deal, it went through Air Force chief scrutiny. And this is an insult to them when he says, why did it take so long? I mean, the man doesn't even know his fundamentals. And therefore, the deal was closed, the decision was taken in 2012. Now, let me mention to you the pertinent point. Let me mention,
the delay
now
was at the political level.
Don't interrupt. Let's not make this. Don't make this into a fish market. I didn't interrupt you. Let me finish.
Okay,
and Gaurav, this is a very pertinent point.
Yes.
So the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, goes to Paris and he overrides all the decisions of the former Indian Air Force chiefs, and he takes the decision on his own. A man who was the Chief Minister of Gujarat a year ago suddenly knows everything about Rafale, what is the best for India's air security.
Is that actually correct? Because Air Marshal Tyagi has just told you that the Indian Air Force said we minimum need 2 squadrons. Sir, the Air Marshal has just told you that the Indian Air Force said we need minimum 2 squadrons. 1 for the China border, 1 for the Pakistan squadron, 1 for the Pakistan border.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish, Gaurav. Let me finish. There are many experts who have come on panels. I will answer the gentleman as well. Let me make the second point, and very critical to our discussion, that end of day, if you said suddenly we need this in a very exigent circumstances, where are the Rafale jets? Where are the Rafale jets today? They are not even going to come till 2022. Point number 3.
No, sir, that's not factually correct. That's not factually correct. 2019, and Sandeep Vanithan can correct me if I'm wrong. They start coming in 2019. They will continue to come till 2023, Sandeep. Sandeep, sir, let's kill issue on facts and not rhetoric on India today. Sandeep,
all the jets will be delivered by 2022.
1 minute. 2014, Modi became Prime Minister.
Okay.
And what about the 118 aircraft that were going to be made in India as part of our domestic manufacturing has been taken away by Narendra Modi to help Anil Ambani. These are open and shut case of corruption. And if the government has any courage, they should order a JPC. But India will one day see an inquiry happen.
Please respond,
there will be a change in government, and we will dig deep into this and we will inquire it.
Okay. GVL Narasimha Rao, please respond. Congress says there has to be a JPC on several aspects, including going in only for 36 instead of 126. And this allegation of a sweetheart deal to Anil Ambani.
No. No, I think, you see, the Supreme Court, you see, they seem to have very selective preference for Supreme Court judgments. The Supreme Court has gone into all these issues. Supreme Court said the process has been followed. There is no deviation from the process. That was one of the first of the three aspects they examined. The third was the offset. They said in offsets we see absolutely nothing wrong. I think this is a private deal. All the 36 planes will be manufactured in France. They will be bought off the shelf. So is Rahul Gandhi making these 36 planes in his brain?
Sanjay Jha, respond on the issue of aspects. The Supreme Court went into it and said there is nothing that they can fault the government for.
Well, with due respects to the Supreme Court, let me tell you what's happening in France. In France, they are looking at inquiring, opening up the whole investigation on the deal. Why? Why did the former French Hollande, who signed the deal along with Prime Minister Modi, publicly went and stated that we were forced to take reliance by Mr. Modi's government. Third point, if it is an intergovernmental agreement, how is it that 58,000 crore of the jet transaction is been managed by the government, but 50% of that, the offset deal, 1 minute, can I speak without an interruption, Rao Saab? 50% of the offset deal is left to Dassault. You think anybody is going to believe that? Eric Trappier of Dassault is on record to say we have 95% selected Hindustan Aeronautics. Why the U-turn? Why the U-turn?
No, so Sandeep, since again I'm telling you this because you know Air Marshal Tyagi and Sandeep, they've been tracking the story very, very closely. So Sandeep, what do facts say in this case?
Well, Gaurav, as we've been saying from day one, it's incorrect to say that Dassault is the major offset partner. There are 4 partners in this deal. It's Dassault, which makes the aircraft. It's Safran that makes the engines. It's Thales, which makes the electronics. And of course, it's MBDA that makes the weapon systems. Dassault gets a very small percentage. It just gets about 40% of the overall thing for offsets, the overall offsets
and
requirement.
of which there are 72 partners in India, of which Anil Ambani's Reliance is only one of them. Those 72. So these are facts. Air Marshal Tyagi, are we understanding and appreciating the facts correctly? Because, you know, whether it's Air Marshal Deo as the Vice Chief of Air Staff or Air Marshal Nambiar as Deputy Chief of Air Staff or even Air Chief Marshal Dhanoa, they've gone on record with these facts. So it's not even as this is source-based information or leaks from the government. These are top Indian Air Force officers, Air Marshal Tyagi, including those who've headed the PNC, the Contract Negotiation Committee, who've given out these details, Air Marshal Tyagi.
Oh, yes, I think Mr. Jha doesn't know the procedure or the facts very well. And he's referring to me as that other person. I was Deputy Chief, and Deputy Chief heads the branch which does the procurement. So I have full knowledge of the earlier deal, and I don't think the offsets as understood by him as 30,000 being given to something has any weight in it. You see, offset only generates money when somebody makes something and it generates profit for that person. And there is a long way to go for that. You know, something has to be set up and then you have to buy something. And the time period for that is 10 years. You see, it is 7 years after the deal is signed. Until there is...
Sanjay Jha, I want to raise another point. The BJP President Amit Shah said that why is it that this deal took from 2007 to 12 and could not be concluded till 14, till the time the Congress was in power? Why didn't the Congress opt for a G to G, a government to government deal? And then there was a political bar from Ottavio Quattrocchi to Christian Michel. Was there a kickback that was awaited? And that's a political bar. You may want to respond to GVL Narasimha Rao on that, sir.
Well, you know, GVL Rao and Mr. Modi will have to answer tomorrow morning. Have they lied to the Supreme Court? Is it an act of perjury? This is a very serious issue. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But let me raise this point here. What the Congress government in the UPA was doing is the right way to do defense manufacturing deals. We said 108 of these aircrafts will be manufactured in collaboration with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It has a track record, it has expertise. Guess what, Gaurav? Its assets are over 58,000 crores. But guess what happens? Instead of that, Mr. Modi gives this deal to a company which is financially broke, owes 45,000 crores to India's PSU banks, defaulted on a foreign currency
Completely
borrowing.
wrong.
Strangely, Dassault invests in this company. And guess the logic Dassault gives. Dassault's logic for investing in Anil Ambani is, unke paas land hai. In that case, they should have invested in, Lodha. They could have invested in some DLF. They could have invested in any company they wanted.
Okay,
Why did they choose Anil Ambani's company? Very intriguing. Very
respond to
fishy
this
indeed.
because
so the truth of the matter is this will have to go through JPC.
Okay, the Congress insists on a JPC. The Congress insists, despite a Supreme Court verdict, the Congress insists on a JPC, and Rahul Gandhi just a short while back reiterated the charge, Chaukidar Chor hai. How will the BJP and the government respond to this, sir?
No, we have already responded. Our national president said, I think thieves always are scared of Chaukidar. I think it is a gang of thieves who are scared of the integrity of the government, of the Prime Minister, who are making these false claims, and there are no takers for them. And look at this is bogey of arguments that are raised again about HEL. This is what point number 18 of the judgment says. It says, the contract negotiations under UPA could not be concluded between the OEM and HAL. And why were you sleeping then? Between 2007 and 12, why did you not conclude this deal? Why did you not get Dassault and HAL on the same platform? Because there were issues.
Can I respond to him?
Dassault did not,
quickly, Sanjay, you must comment on that aspect. But Jeevan Narasimha Rao, also on the aspect that Sanjay Jha has raised right now, he's accusing the Narendra Modi government of perjury in court. He's raising the point that documents that were not made available to Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, the CAG report in Parliament or to the PSC, is in Supreme Court. What report is in Supreme Court? Rahul Gandhi says, was this report tabled in the French Parliament? Because clearly not tabled in the Indian Parliament, sir.
No, but this is the report. The details have been given to the PAC, and I've listened to Mr. Kharge very intently. He did not say what Rahul Gandhi said. Rahul Gandhi clearly lied out of lack of knowledge, and also to save his
Mr. Rao,
own
please
back.
don't lie.
And Mr. Kharge did not say Rafale did not come before us. Rafale. So anyway, I think he is only making accusations at the court, and I'm sure details will come out in due time. And court did not rely. This is another lie of Rahul Gandhi. He said court relied on CAG report. No, it's a blatant lie of Rahul Gandhi. Supreme Court only mentioned CAG details or report was given to the PSC. They have received the details on their own. They examined, they reviewed, and they came to their conclusions.
No, but if it's been given to PSC, will Mallikarjun Kharge, Sanjay Jha have access to it or not?
So Rahul is completely wrong on that.
Okay, Sanjay Jha.
Well, you know.
No, Kharge did not say what Rahul Gandhi said.
Report,
I think you will have to listen to Kharge very carefully.
Which goes into Parliament. Here you have a situation. Yeah. Stop interrupting, Rao Sahab. Jara khatam karne dijiye. Let's have a civilized debate. The simple point is that there's a process, right? We have the constitution and democracy, despite, thank God, this government being there. Now, the CAG gets the pricing according to the Supreme Court. We have no idea. The CAG then gives it to the Public Accounts Committee. Mr. Kharge has no idea. The Parliament has no idea. But according to what the Supreme Court verdict is, they are saying it's already in the public domain. It is not. And therefore, I think, in my opinion, this is the biggest possible scandal that we are witnessing. Has the Supreme Court been misled by Narendra Modi's government? I mean, this is something that we need to talk about. I think this is now the biggest talking point. Has Narendra Modi's government lied? More important, why?
Okay, Sandeep, you're going through those pages. So,
yeah, Rahul,
the report hasn't so far been tabled in Parliament. It's likely to be tabled in the winter session because last we heard from CAG sources there was some kind of a delay.
Right. There is a matter of clarification here, Gaurav, because this, as Mr. Sanjay Jha pointed out, that there is a very clear reference to the fact that the pricing details have been shared with the CAG and the report of the CAG has been examined by the PAC, and only a redacted portion of the report was placed before the Parliament. Now we know for a fact that the CAG report, which is under preparation as of now, has not been tabled in Parliament, and neither has it been placed before the
PAC.
The PAC.
Okay, and because that is exactly what Mallikarjun Kharge said, and he should know, and this is where we need clarity, GVL Narasimha Rao. This is where we need clarity. Mallikarjun Kharge has gone on record, sir. He's on television. The Congress Party president is on television saying it wasn't tabled in Parliament, it wasn't brought before the CAG, the CAG report wasn't tabled in Parliament, and it wasn't brought in front of the PAC, sir.
No, who said it is placed, the entire report has been placed in Parliament?
Why?
Even that, let's not mislead our viewers.
Why would you lie?
It's not even mentioned in the court judgment. The court judgment said, let me, I think this has just been read out portions. They said, PAC has received the full details, the pricing details. Report has been examined by the PAC. Is this the final report? Is this a draft report? Was this even discussed and the preliminary report given? All this has to come out. These are matters of fact. Whether Supreme Court, but when the court has made these observations, it must be based on some information that they have got.
No answers.
It is possible that the wording may be wrong, but it is, even Mr. Kharge did not say Rafale did not come up before the PAC. Did he say that?
Okay. Just one last point I want to bring in Air Marshal Nirdosh Tyagi quickly. Air Marshal Tyagi, is there merit in Rahul Gandhi once again reiterating that point? From 500 crore to 1600 crore, the price of the aircraft shot up only to benefit the Prime Minister's friend, as Rahul Gandhi puts it, Anil Ambani's Reliance. Air Marshal Tyagi, last word to you, sir.
No, the figure arrived earlier for the earlier deal and for this deal is not cannot be compared unless you know what constitutes that deal. You see, it depends on what is deliverable, and I don't think anybody who's arguing the case here knows what are the deliverables.
Okay.
If you list all the deliverables, they include many things, and it's not about not about fully loaded aircraft versus green aircraft.
Okay.
It is also about maintenance, about training, many other issues. So pro rata, in a smaller number, some impacts will be higher. But the deal is absolutely clean. I have no doubt about that, because it's negotiated by people who cannot be influenced by anyone, because they have to safeguard their own future also.
Their own future and national interest. So this is a deal that was negotiated by the Indian Air Force, by the Deputy Chief of Air Staff.
Yeah, in a departure from protocol. Normally it is the bureaucrats who negotiate this, but in this case the Air Force took full ownership of this deal. They steered it, and which is the reason why they were also in court defending the deal.
Fair enough. So clearly this isn't the last that we've heard of this deal. The Congress continues to insist that they want a JPC. Sandeep, for the moment, many thanks. To all my guests, many thanks for joining me on this show.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.